Hi, it's me again, Togozan. Welcome to another great and exciting episode of GMTV. Today we're going to talk about the insatiably mind-blowing, attention-seeking, like you measure your self-worth against this current phenomenon, which is social media and all of its hassles and its troubles. And basically I would like to teach you today how to manage that dreaded monster and very amazingly creative tool that is social media actually. Thank you to everybody that's tuned into the channel. We're currently sitting on 29,000 subscribers, yay! And the goal currently is 32,000, of course, because Gogo turned 32, right? Get it? So for those that are very far and can't necessarily come gift me with all these amazing gifts, it'll be a beautiful gift for you to be a subscriber on my channel, especially if you enjoy the footage and the videos that I share with you guys. And anyone else who's new, subscribe. Anyone else who's been on the channel for years and years and years, thank you so much. I truly appreciate you. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out on the exciting videos we have in store for you. Whoa, social media. Guys, this is one of the most amazing tools that has ever been created by man and computers and software and all of that. But most importantly, it's how we use it, right? Because it has made the world so very small. I could literally be in conversations with people across the globe, something that you and I never thought was absolutely possible. I can learn about events that affect the rest of the world from my timeline and what it is that I put into the search engine, or a particular hashtag that I've been following or is linked to a particular conversation. People have made careers out of being on social media, myself included. Makeup artist, Kim Kardashian's, all of those people collectively, Umihlale herself, right? Who today we know as one of the most highly paid South African black women who leverage social media. So there's a lot of perks and a lot of beauty and a lot of success that's linked with it. But also it comes with a great deal of self-talk that we have once we engage the spaces and also once we sit in our own solitude. Like for instance, a typical monologue of someone who's scrolling through the timeline is, especially when I see perhaps vacation pictures or couple goals or, whatever the case is that's trending at the time, I automatically go into the mode of, hey, how come I don't have? How come I can't post pictures like that? Or I don't have the opportunity to go to such places. What kind of people do these people need to be for them to be spotted by a major brand? All of a sudden their life is popping. For instance, Gabete is, I think that's her name, the Uchiwa King lady, who out of a simple question engaged literally millions of followers and subscribers to a social media platform like Twitter, and she's blown up since. She's now in control of her own career, and probably when she was asking that question, she had a gang load of problems that she felt were actually troubling her. Uchiwa King loosely means what's troubling you, right? So imagine something as simple as that. Not even creative. It's the basic language we use on a day-to-day basis with our peers, with our families. But it just snapped differently on that particular one time. It probably was even asked by a different person in a different language, in a different wording, but it didn't quite do what that one particular tweet did. Which means that the world is open to conversations, to ideas, to sharing a certain narrative about your life and how you perceive certain things. But also, do you realize the power that you have when you do actually have that platform? Your hand is not just sitting in your phone, in your hand, but it's a gold mine waiting for you to harvest from, because the content that you have in terms of your intellectual property, if aligned and placed in a particular way, it could literally be your bread and butter. You could be a sensation. You could be the one who feeds other creative content to people who are your influencers. So that's essentially what we're going to be talking about today when it comes to social media. And most importantly, I'd like to talk about the 4 stresses that we experience based on social media. I go through a whole list of processes to bring the content to the screen. This particular video, like many others, I sit with myself, I watch the timelines, I go over the conversations I have with people, and I try find how to help people solve their issues, how to help empower a person feel that they can do that. I realized that with that, I learned that between the ages of 18 and 24, those are actually the age groups of the people that are sitting on social media the most. And a minimum amount of time that one sits on social media is 2 hours within the 24 that you're given. So if 8 is taken by you going to sleep and recuperating from your busy activities, that's now 10 hours included, including social media, which means that you're not left with a lot, especially if you have a 9 to 5, which obviously takes 8 hours again to go through. And then you're needed at your other job, projects, relationships you keep with your friends, with your family, etc. So if social media is consuming so much of your life, what is it doing to you? What is it doing to your peers? Are you finding that perhaps that the relationships you keep with the people around you, or the persona of a person on social media, especially a friend of yours, is different to how they are when you're sitting together? And then you realize, actually, I don't think it's a good idea to follow my friend because she's a different person. She sends off a different vibe when she's on social media. And you can actually see this person's struggle on social media, which you wouldn't otherwise easily pick up on in a tea and biscuits type of setting, because then she'll be talking about things that are really truly affecting this person. But it almost like a person's mind takes on a different persona when they go on social media, almost like you don't know how to use your words anymore. And the fact that social media comes with so many pressures, you feel like you have to sound right, sound a particular way. And I don't know how that can be, because what's right to me doesn't necessarily mean that it's right for you. And that's where most of all of this anxiety and depressive prone people are actually triggered from, is the content that you consume on socials and how you resonate with it, how you connect with it, and therefore what you do with it. Let's go on into the first one, being highlight reel. The highlight reel is basically the content that you find whenever you're scrolling on your social media. Because with a basic reference like sports, when it comes to highlights, it only ever shows the best of the best of the best that you missed out on, which means essentially it's going to make you want to now go watch the game and check out the reruns because it's a draw card. Now imagine when you have a timeline filled with highlight reels, which means only the best of the best have been selected or uploaded to be on that platform. So now even when you have to take photos or represent yourself in a particular way, you're going to take something like 35 selfies or photos just looking for that precise moment where the sun hits you right, your laughter is at a particular height and peak, and your face is turning a particular way, and your body is following suit, and all the things around you are sitting in the right place. You could literally even take another photo again just because your glass of wine is sitting on the side where there's a streak that shows that you are drinking from it. Which is weird because everything is perceived as if it's picture perfect. So that already comes with a whole vast of heaviness to it. And then you are now forced to consume what seems as if it's a perfect and idealistic world. whereas people are not showing the more relatable content of how they actually wake up in the morning. Highlight reel is one of the things that basically make you feel like you have to judge yourself. Or even, I don't think that's basically what the social media is doing, but ultimately that's what you as an individual, you do with that. So the highlight reel is something that's one of the first biggest contributors to how you're going to connect and communicate when it comes to social media. One of my best examples that I can put against the highlight reel is, for instance, you're seeing someone on vacation, a friend of yours, and they're posting these beautiful pictures by the ocean in their bathing suits. Guys, the energy, the vibes, everything is right. You believe that this person is literally living an Instagram life. But also in the back of your mind, you know that you know this person. My friend is like, this is not a norm for them, meaning that you know the truth about your friend's life, that it's actually very deserved. But in your mind, when you see it, you want to think of, why is it not me? Why can't I afford to go on this holiday? Why can't I have these specially beautifully captured moments? Whereas you know your friends struggle, that actually it took her months to raise these funds to go on this holiday. She deserves it. She just broke up with her husband. She's going through a divorce. But we don't take that into context. We already want to judge a particular situation by how it's presented to us and almost make it seem like it's not relatable content. Whereas what she's actually going through is as relatable as it can be. This is a coping mechanism for this person to go through their particular healing. Next up is social currency. And this is now the value that you put to yourself when you post things. Almost like you're not going to take a picture next to a pigsty looking like you've been herding them or tending to their pens. You're going to think of all the thoughts attached to that place. It being dirty, the phrases also spoken about that particular setting, about, for instance, I don't fight with people because they'll take you down to their level. Like, don't argue with the pig, they'll take you down to their level. All like such things. There's almost like how you know that there's a song line for everything. You can also attach a certain emotion and a way of how to connect with that particular instance by the things that you've been exposed to. Now imagine how it's like when you don't want to allow for that. So now you are going to go and set up a different environment altogether so that your social standing looks like it's at a different level, because it's going to take you away from what your everyday norm is. So there's a certain currency that you want to be showing off about yourself, a certain lifestyle. Where do you eat? How do you dress? Who are your friends? And it's always so important that when a celebrity is tweeting you or is commenting on your statuses, you're going to answer, and almost even answer in such a way that you guys are actually vibing. Like, if they're not at work, they're hanging out with you, because you want to make it look like you are part of the circle. Social currency also speaks to what you attribute as valuable. And I don't know if you know this, but you are absolutely the model of a product that's being sold to you. You, my dear, are the product of social media. Whatever it is that you use it for and how you use it has been designed in a particular way that's going to make you go ahead of yourself to want to do it more. For instance, if you go onto perhaps the voice recognition thing that we have always running on our phones, and we're talking about LED bulbs that change color, and all of a sudden now when I'm scrolling my timeline, here is an ad of an LED light that's got changing colors. And you're thinking, but how does that make sense? It's designed in a particular way that it's supposed to work for you, engage you, have you consume the content, get into a particular website, get your credit card in hand, put in your details, and a purchase is made. So that process was absolutely successful. Tell me this, how many times have you taken down a photograph because it didn't get enough likes, that you felt that it wasn't engaged with enough times? Because of the social currency that you have put against likes versus a reality of how people truly feel about whatever it is that you posted. we get to a level where we are so prejudging and judging generally of someone else's likes. Almost like, I want to engage this tweet until I see how many engagements this person has, even if it's literally top-notch relatable content. But because other people are not jumping on, you won't jump on either. And that's almost like a vice versa of how social currency works. For instance, if I'm going to take it back and a lot more closer to home, there are people like such as slay queens who date ridiculously rich men. What do they call them? Blessers. So there's a video that went viral about a young black girl in South Africa, and she was sharing her story and her ordeal with dealing with a guy, otwele with a snake. So basically this person has now used the power of a snake and added it to his own natural demeanor and character. Therefore, this person is able to attract a whole lot more money, a whole lot of things through this particular animal. So, but this lady was going on to share how deep of weird situations she found herself in. This guy told her, okay, don't be surprised with the things that you see in the house, like perfectly normal. But I'm going to need you to lie on your back and to spread your legs. There's going to be and to close your eyes. There's going to be a snake, which is called by a certain nickname, and it's going to come engage with you sexually. And don't move around too much, okay? Because it might kill you, or you also might disappear like the other girls. And you're thinking to yourself, how ridiculous is this story? But this is someone's actual testament because of the social currency that we have placed towards how we want to live our lives. Another story. How do you think Instagram influencers thrive in their lives? When someone says, I took a private jet to Dubai, to the Seychelles, to the top of the moon, wherever the hell they go. Only to find that there was actually another video that went viral talking about the behind the scenes shot of this particular group of influencers on a green screen, and they are acting on this particular narrative. So it's so much important to these influencer people and these Instagram influencers for them to sell a particular story that they don't even live, because they want to be seen a particular way. They want to put such certain value towards their name, and they're not necessarily looking to enjoy the journey of how to get there, but they want to seem and perceive themselves as if they've made it. So social currency is incredibly very important, because don't ever feel like you have to see yourself and you see your life in someone else's eyes, or go see someone living a fabulous life and think it's really that fabulous. I'm going to eventually go into vlogging a lot more, where I'm going to be doing type style videos with my sister while she's cooking in the kitchen, and we're going to chop up basic conversations. I want to do that because I want to take away the demeanor or even the connotation or the idea that Gogo is living this life. I mean, it was just my birthday, so not so long ago. I took out really dope pictures of a great holiday, and it gave a certain perception of who this woman is. I don't put on my socials a lot of videos where I go into or say a day in the life with Gogo. I feel like there's a lot of elements that come with that, and it's not very easy for me to do that because I engage with so many of my clients, which is not their choice to be famous or to be a likable or rather recognizable person. So why would I force these people to be on my videos just because they need the help from me? So I decided that I'm actually going to do this vlog type style videos with my sister, because if anyone can make me candid or chilled or really see the real me, that's my sister. And that's only then will you guys be offered an opportunity to really learn about Gogo, like who she is. So what I'm trying to say by that is, there's people that are going to openly show you who they are, the true essence of their lives. And even so, guys, we have filters and filters and filters on all these social media profiles that make us look a better version of ourselves. I'm a beautiful girl, but until I've got a particular filter on with eyelashes popping and my skin is all matte and all my angles look good, I don't believe I'm beautiful, because it's not something that's sold. It's not a value that's been said. No, girl, like flourish in the fact that you're a natural woman who uses minimum amount of makeup and you absolutely look amazing for it. but instead it says, here are filters to make you look better than you actually do. All of that is value, something that's perceived. It's a perceived value about yourself. Be mindful about the things that you consume, because ultimately it warps your mind to believing that perfect is actually a concept, whereas it's made up. The fear of missing out, also known as FOMO. This is the third element that adds and contributes to our stresses when it comes to social media. Have you found that you can sit with your phone, and even if there's absolutely nothing going on the activity of your screen, you literally you end up feeling like your phone rang, or there was a beep, or there was a sound, or it vibrated. Shem, phone is absolutely quiet, but you are so caught up and so used to it's almost like it's now a habit of you going to reach out to your phone and check what's the latest, who's reaching out to me now, what are they saying. Oh, interesting. You feel like you're being engaged, like someone is actually talking to you, and you're part of a bigger network, only to find that not necessarily it's all the stuff that you chose to follow. So there isn't really anything special about your involvement in it. You just like to follow the particular conversation. How many of you guys have wanted at some point in your lives to deactivate your accounts? I know I'm one of them, because of so much of the stresses that it brings. You feel like your life will actually be so much better without it, and that's why it's so important for you to have a social media break. Have a diet that you can actually consume and it's palatable for you, without you going into a destructive mode and you're actually being turned into the person that you're not, or affected in such a way that you're not, because of the fact that it is so overly exhausting to be part of this conversation. People literally feel like they're missing out on something if they're not on the socials, or they haven't posted, or they are not part of the trending list. And it's always important and for you to understand the context of everything when someone does trend. It could be that you're trending because something major broke out about a scandal that's going on in your life or your family or at your job, and somehow influences and affects you. Some people go out of their way to make really ridiculous videos or be on TikToks or whatever it is, so that they can be a recognizable person and people know who they are and that they're super talented. Social media is not a bad tool. It's not. We are the ones who don't know how to use them. We are the ones who eventually become to be exposed of our dark side. Twitter can't tweet that Gogo thinks that she's everything. Twitter doesn't even know who the hell I am. I'm not even verified. But you, the person who's using the cell phone and all that data and all that time, you're the one who's revealing your dark side by being able to use this particular platform in a way that is very downgrading and not very a true representative of your character, because in most instances you won't be able to say half the things that you say on your socials in person to the people that you actually do talk about. The fear of missing out also, it can be so apprehensive of your spirit that you feel like if you're not on social media, that your life is not going so well. Whereas again, we just spoke about social currency. So imagine if you're being shown a whole variety of content that's actually not true, and then you have FOMO of being part of that narrative that's not true. So what does that say about you and how you relate to this perfect world that's made up? You say, why am I not traveling? Why am I sitting in my PJs? Why am I so boring? Well, because other people are actually putting money into acting and staging these platforms to look as if they are. I woke up like this. It was a natural move. Like my man and I, while we were, during our pillow talk, we decided we haven't seen a blue beach in a while, so we woke up and did it. Guys, it doesn't work like that. For anybody who knows how it is to travel internationally, unless if maybe you have your own private concierge system, someone is going to privately book you all the way across your journey. You know it's not easy like that, because other countries have certain laws, how to enter, visa regulations, so many things. But in your mind, You have even taken away the basic way of how things function, and you believe what's being shown to you to be the only true and real representation of what is actually going on. So which means that you are choosing to dumb down your intelligence because someone on social media has pitched something to you to look so easy, so effortless, but they won't show the behind the scenes work of how difficult things are. I remember watching Being Bonang. I don't remember what season it was. And this woman, obviously, guys, she looks perfect, picture perfect all the damn time. And you watch her, she's almost like she's on a plane like it's a skateboard. Like she jumps off one, she jumps on another, she jumps off one, she jumps on another. And she does twirls in the air effortlessly. But there was one particular video episode where it was talking about the behind the scenes or the struggles of how her management hadn't really managed that particular flight or that trip or the what is it called when you are joining another, like what's it called? You're not you know. And there was a massive problem that she had. She lost her mind because it was such an inconvenience to her. But on the video, she'll always look a particular way. Her branding is associated with perfectionism. She is rich enough to make it possible, and that's why she needs the team to do that for her. But reality says that life happens to everyone. So don't go along believing that there's an idea of everything being as perfect as you think it is because of the fact that you feel like you're missing out. Sometimes you may even end up putting yourself in situations that are very unbecoming to you because you want to be the next sensation, only to find that it's just not your time, and this is not how your story goes. This is not how you achieve your success. Don't get gobbled up into this whirlwind of stresses that the world provides you. Take it with your own sensibility and your own heart sitting in the right spaces, because ultimately you do take these things to bed, you do take these things to your mind, you do end up thinking that your life is worthless because you don't look as fabulous as other people do. Guys, I am too. Like, whatever is yours, and it will manifest when the time is right, and believe in the processes. Micro moments lead to macro problems. What do I mean by that? I mean that every time you're on a social media platform and you are watching someone, LGBT community, Muslims, people of color, racism, femicide, genocide, world hunger, whatever the topic is, there'll always be somebody who makes it seem like it's not that big of a deal, or want to take away your basic human right of being respected. If you're gay and you want to be openly, conversational about it, then you should be allowed to do that. But someone is going to feel that in their moral compass that you're not allowed to. How dare you? We don't want to know that you have sex with another man and you actually enjoy it out of pleasure. Like, people are always projecting themselves on other people. It happens on the timeline over and over and over again. It was so interesting. I was going through the timeline and I saw this old black 80-year-old man marrying a 26-year-old black girl, right? And they're very much South African. They were in their South African cultural wear. The wedding, it looked spectacular. And the tag was, she's marrying for money. I found while I was scrolling again, I saw another post of a white man who is also in his late ages. I could say 70 somethings, but he looked old. Physically, you could see he's old. And he was marrying a 26-year-old black woman. And the tag was, love is never too late. It's almost like, how do we choose that one is lesser and less important and there's less need for you to recognize their union and put such vile words towards those people's conversations and how they choose to present themselves? And I'm talking about micro leading to macro, because we see many micro moments on the timeline. We retweet some of them, we like some of them, and other times we know it's a subtweet to someone that we know, but we're gonna like it to show we saw it. But we don't think of how the other person who's actually being tweeted about and being subtweeted is feeling in this particular moment, because they're sensational, man. We like the juice, whereas that juice could literally make someone end their life. There was a kid in the States, I forgot his name, and he was 17 years old. This young man was recorded secretly kissing another boy, and he turned out to have liked it. But it went viral. It went on social media, and this boy was gutted because firstly, he wasn't ready. He was still exploring. He didn't own the conversation of what was happening in his life. This young man committed suicide. Do you understand the depth of how people are being affected by the fact that you feel you can? And that's it. You just feel you can. You have no truth towards it. You have nothing that can back it up, or even if you had a video, guys, context is everything. Seeing those 30 seconds does not mean that it began that way or it ended that way. But obviously, we're so quick to round things off to the nearest denomination, which is not right. So with the social harassment, I would like for everybody to please be mindful that sometimes your opinion is not needed. It won't change the currency of the world. It won't add more money in your pocket, but if anything, it's going to speak to your karma as well, because the energy you put out is exactly what you're going to get back. We see it when politicians are going off at each other. We're seeing it when the government is not responding to the struggle that we're having as women with femicide and gender-based violence. We see it all over the place that this tool allows for conversations to come to the fore. If something was removed and you feel like you're in a rural space that has absolutely nothing, you have no influences, all of a sudden your phone brings the world to you. So you learn literally about every single subject that has ever interested you. Ever. So when you consume, it's important to go into the social media platforms and identify what really resonates with you. I have found a feature on Twitter that you can subscribe to certain kind of hashtags. For instance, Virgo, Natural Geographic, wildlife, self-care, self-love, spiritual conversations, cars, dream destination homes, fun activities to do with children. I've got nieces and nephews. So all of that, and food, how to cook, how to make drinks, those are the things that I've subscribed to on my timeline. So I'm actually saying I love the platform, but I'm going to choose what I want to see. If I see someone else getting dissed over something, it's because it's trending and I don't necessarily have control over that. But immediately when I open up my Twitter, can it be things that I really want to consume? It goes for every other platform, socials, Facebook, YouTube, whatever it is. You still get to block out any tags that don't resonate with your spirit. If you're a gay person going through hate for the fact that you are liberal and liberated in your choice of love, block the fact that there's hate mail. Block the keywords that the people choose to use, your muffies, your whatever these stupid words that they want attached to your spirit, which don't resonate with you. Own that space, take it back. In closing, I'm going to help you be able to reclaim your power on social media with these four points, right? The first one is recognize the problem. We've spoken about lots of those in today's episode. Secondly, audit your social media diet. You don't have to consume everything just because it's on the timeline. Create a better online experience. This is the tag that I was talking about, me wanting to consume things that actually matter to me. Oh, and African fashion and African culture, those things are like, you're beautiful because I want to dress a particular way. I love the influence of how people are dressing themselves, so I can take something nice from there and something nice from there and put it together in how I express myself. So use it, it's out there, it's for you. Lastly on the list, it says model good behavior. You still are the one who pressed send, who presses post, who presses go viral, share, retweet, whatever it is, you are the one who has that control. So be cognizant of that, because at the end of the day, it's got your name on it. And it's something very important, especially when it comes to your working experience. They audit your social media when you're looking for a job. So you might seem like you're being crass or you don't give a damn about how it's going to land on someone else's face. You could be literally retweeting something that's going to cost you your dream job, because the company does not associate with that kind of thinking. They don't want people who are going to be that careless with people's emotions and their needs. If you would like to donate to the channel, please click on the link below or the tag up here, where you are going to be actually redirected to my PayPal account. I'd really, really appreciate it if you did so. Any amount of donation is absolutely appreciated by myself. As you can see, my sits keep changing because I gotta switch it up. I cannot switch it up if I don't have the creativity or the resources. And I know if I was still standing and saying, welcome to GMTV, ooh, how boring would that be by now? On episode 35? Seriously? So as I progress and I grow and I love the feedback that you give me, I really would appreciate that you would also donate to the channel. You can look for Lesedi Sangoma on PayPal, and that's basically my account there. Also, if you have Wi-Fi that's unlimited, whenever you're sitting or you're busy with your other work, open the YouTube tab, go to my channel, click play all, mute that, play your music, join the meeting that you gotta go onto, and help me collect the watch time. I really would appreciate that. And that has been me on today's episode of Social Media. Thank you so much for tuning in. Togozan.